Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. It's good to be back with episode 2 of GRC 11s. And as always, I am joined by the brilliant, the one and only Behram Qazi. Behram, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Hassan bhai, and it's good to be back on the second episode of this show. And unlike the first episode, in which we built our squads, or playing 11s, sorry, for the T20s, and that 5 T20I series, Pakistan versus New Zealand, was rather low stakes. But this 5-match ODI series that we're going to be covering today and building our lineups for, this one matters a great deal. So I, for one, am extremely excited to tell you who I think should play.
Brilliant. तो मैं एक दफा फिर से आपको बताता चलूं कि GRC 11s में हमारा फोकस है कि जो भी पाकिस्तान की अपकमिंग सीरीज आ रही है उसके लिए हम इस केस में बहराम और मैं अपने जो हमें लगता है 11 खेलनी चाहिए या शायद खेलेगी उसको पिक करेंगे और इस केस में हम इसको ब्रेक डाउन कर रहे हैं। तो पहले हम जा रहे हैं आपके टॉप ऑर्डर के साथ, जो कि आपके पहले 4 बैट्समैन हैं, आपके ओपनर्स, आपके 1 डाउन, आपके 2 डाउन। फिर हम आ रहे हैं आपके मिडिल ऑर्डर और ऑलराउंडर के साथ, जो आपके अगले नंबर 5, 6, 7, 8, और फिर हर पाकिस्तानी की जिंदगी के सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चॉइस उसके 3 फास्ट बॉलर्स और या उसके 3 स्ट्राइक बॉलर्स। तो बी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टू सी हाउ Behram and I want to go about this. So Behram, let's get to it. GRC 11's episode 2. My man, give me your top 4 for this crucial one-day series that's coming up between Pakistan and New Zealand.
So given the fact, Hassan bhai, that this series is so critical to Pakistan's cause, given it's an ODI World Cup year, and Pakistan are playing, what, 10, 12 ODIs, I believe, in the build-up to that all-important World Cup. So I'm going to go with an extremely full-strength team, at least what makes sense to me, जो हमारी सबसे ज़्यादा full-strength team है. मैंने वही pick की है, and I think top 4 is perhaps the easiest to pick because you've got Imam ul Haq and Fakhr Zaman opening. At least I've got them opening, and that's because Imam is a player who averages north of 50 और बहुत reliable है bat के साथ. And even though, you know, he has had criticism with respect to his strike rate, if you look at the last calendar year, he has upped that considerably. So I think it's a no-brainer to have him there, along with Fakhr Zaman, who averages 45. Sure, that's 5 less than Imam, but Fakhr is extremely explosive with the bat. So the day he gets going, Pakistan are most likely going to win. And of course, at number 3, you have your skipper. Babar Azam averages a touch under 60 in the ODI format, is arguably the best ODI player in contemporary cricket, and he has 2 awards to show for it. You know, he has the Garfield Sobers Trophy, current holder of that. And 2 years in a row, he has been named the ODI Player of the Year. So he is that kingpin in Pakistan's batting order across formats, really. Maybe not T20. We can have a debate about that some other day. But in ODI cricket, he is the king and undisputed king. I don't think there's any debate over there. And on number 4, now this might come under the scanner. Some people might disagree with me. You might disagree with me. I have Mohammad Rizwan. And my rationale behind that is that in 47 innings in ODI cricket that Mohammad Rizwan has played, he scored 1,247 runs at an average of 32.81. Now, 20 of those innings have come when he's been batting at number 4. And out of the 1,247 runs, he scored 742 at an average of 43.64. So those numbers suggest that Rizwan is best suited to play at number 4. And that's why I have Pakistan's ace wicketkeeper finishing up my top 4. And I'd love to hear what you have.
It's amazing, but I have literally the same top 4. And I have exactly the same reasons for it. Imam, you cannot imagine one-day cricket for Pakistan without Imam. Imam has proven everybody who's doubted him wrong. Imam is your most dependable, most bankable batsman after your captain, of course. He's integral to your one-day side. Fakhr Zaman, I know a lot of people want to talk about Fakhr's form, but like Behram said, when Fakhr fires, Pakistan wins. You just do not have another player like Fakhr Zaman who can come in and do what Fakhr does. And in a World Cup year, Fakhr is going to be very, very important. Babar Azam, there's nothing more that I can add to what Behram said. The king, the best one-day batsman in the world for quite some time now. Behram, I would say since the last World Cup to now, I don't think anybody comes close in the one-day format to what Babar Azam has done and has been doing. The 2019 World Cup, I felt in many ways, was the coming of Babar Azam, the one-day batsman. Now Babar goes to the World Cup as Pakistan's captain and as the number 1 one-day international batsman in the world. Lots of pressure, but he seems to be handling it well. And I do completely agree with you that the best place for Rizwan is at number 4. I think Rizwan can make runs. I think he can hold on a little bit if it's required. That's the best place for him. Anywhere lower, given the squad that we've picked, doesn't seem to make sense for me. So that works out. What's your next bet, BQ? Who are your numbers 5, 6, 7, and 8?
So before I even get into that, Hassan bhai, I'd like to say that let's hope that Babar Azam is the captain when Pakistan go to India in October, November.
Inshallah.
But yes, I really like the point where you said that he came of age in that 2019 World Cup. That New Zealand innings in particular comes to mind. I was there at Edgbaston, and people used to say उस time पे कि बाबर से finish नहीं होता. हालांकि आप सोचो तो बाबर का काम नहीं है finish करना, मगर उसने कर दिया था उस दिन finish, और तब से लेकर अब तक वो और भी कई दफा कर चुका है finish. Even though he is slotted in at number 3, that's not his job spec. But anyway, moving forward to the middle and lower order. Now, for number 5, I have 2 candidates. They are Haris Sohail and Salman Ali Agha. Now, they played at 5 and 6 in the previous ODI series versus New Zealand. And it came good in one game and it didn't really come good in the other 2. So, I think only one of these guys should be playing. Haris has the experience. Salman Ali Agha is sprightly, great fielder, gives you buffer overs with the ball and counter attacks with the bat. And even though Haris has played the previous World Cup, I just feel like his knee might give in. I just have this fear, which is why I'm going to go with Salman Ali Agha at number 5. Plus, I think what he adds in the field is really priceless. And if you compare that to Haris Sohail, there's a big gulf over there. For number 6, the ideal candidate in my mind would have been Iftikhar Ahmed, but he's unfortunately not part of the squad. And why I think he should have been there and at least should be there come World Cup is because he averages 48.65 in List A cricket at a strike rate north of 90. Sure, his ODI numbers might not replicate that sort of form, but I think Iftikhar in the purple patch that he's currently experiencing is a shoo-in. He should definitely be there to accelerate towards the end, and he can also hold the fort. And he's another player who can give you buffer overs and is an amazing fielder in the deep. So really, I mean, selectors, if you're listening to this, Harun Rashid Saab, please select Iftikhar Ahmed, or at least include him in your plans for the 50-over World Cup. But since he's not here, another late entrant into the squad makes my number 6, or occupies my number 6 position, and that is the youthful and exuberant Mohammad Haris. He's also a backup keeper, really good fielder, and he can provide Pakistan with that impetus that is required in that finisher role at number 6, and can also, you know, be that aggressor when Pakistan are batting first, taking them to a high total. So those are my numbers 5 and 6. 7 and 8 is fairly straightforward for me. It's Shadab Khan and Mohammad Nawaz, because I think that they definitely deserve a spot, given that it's also a World Cup that's going to be held in India. You're going to need your spinners. Those 2 guys have performed quite regularly for Pakistan. And even though Shadab Khan is not particularly in form right now, you've got to play him. You know, he's just coming off a finger injury, and now is the time to keep giving him confidence and consistently play him so that he hits that peak form when it's time to play in India in around 10 or 9 months. So that makes my 5, 6, 7, and 8, Hassan bhai. What about you?
Again, people are going to say that Behram and I, what's going on? We're agreeing on everything today. I have the same concerns with Haris Sohail. I think he's a wonderful player, but I do believe fitness is a concern. I will echo what you said about Iftikhar. I think Iftikhar should have been there. I will also go and once again say that I think one person who has been very shoddily treated by our selectors in terms of one-day cricket is Khushdil Shah. When you look at his numbers in List A cricket, when you look at his average, when you look at his, that's the format where he's had the most success, and that's the format where he's been used the least. Anyway, that's a debate for another day. We don't have Iftikhar.
And he's also won new games, Hassan bhai, versus Australia and West Indies last year. Crucial game.
Exactly. Considering those are the last series that you've actually gone and won, Behram. It's been that long for us. So I would go, I love the inclusion of Salman Ali Agha. I think Salman brings a lot to the team. I would absolutely have him there over Haris. The only time I would play Haris Sohail and Mohammad Haris and Haris Rauf is just so I have Haris ringing out everywhere. Shadab still makes it for me. You always pick Shadab. I know he's going through a bit of a patch right now and people are being critical, but let's not forget Shadab Khan is a match winner. He's one of your best fielders. Ek drop catch se aadmi bura fielder nahi ban jata. Please, let's respect the fact that Shadab is one of our best fielders. He is electrifying with the bat and he still is your best leg spinner, even though I'm very happy and I want to see Usama playing. I think Usama deserves that opportunity too, but I'm going with Shadab because Shadab is your match winner. And Nawaz brings so much to that side. Nawaz brings his ability to bowl spin. Behram pointed out the World Cup is being played in India. You already, if you play Salman, Shadab, and Nawaz, you have 3 spin options. And not only do you have 3 spin options, you cover all bases. You've got leg spin, left arm spin, off spin. That's the kind of depth most teams would kill for. So yeah, I would go that way, and I would give Mohammad Haris the freedom at 6 or even 7, because you can be flexible, send Nawaz, send Shadab, give him the opportunity to come down. I think if you groom him to be the finisher, he can be the finisher Pakistan needs in one-day cricket. Exceptional player, wonderful fielder. Yeah, same as you, Behram. I'm going with the same lineup as you. Not Haris Sohail. Salman Ali Agha. Haris would be my backup for him. And then I would go Haris, Shadab, Nawaz.
Yeah, and I think you brought up a really good point over there that you can be flexible with your number 6 and number 7. Maybe the game situation requires you to consolidate. तो आप शदाब को ऊपर भेज दें. ये आप कर सकते हो ODI cricket में with your lower to middle order. I think it's very intelligent actually, and Pakistan should look to be dynamic with their mindset. Not something that we've seen from them too often. We've seen it, but not as often as perhaps I would have liked. But khair, fast bowlers ki taraf chale pe Hassan bhai. I think I'm going to keep this extremely short. These are 5 ODIs that really matter. You need to hit peak form as a unit, and Pakistan's best 3 pacers need to be starting these games, at least the first 3 or 4 of them. फिर अगर आप सीरीज जीत जाते हो तो आप सोच सकते हो कि चलो वसीम जूनियर या एहसानुल्लाह को ट्राई कर लें. But for now, Shaheen Shah Afridi, Haris Rauf and Naseem Shah, all 3 start for me in these ODIs. It's a shame really that Haris and Shaheen played all 5 T20s, because I would have liked to see them rest a bit and, you know, save their legs for these ODIs. But it wasn't the case, and they definitely need to play these games because they need to build that partnership together so they can wreak havoc in India, which every Pakistani would love to see, right, Hassan bhai?
Absolutely. The only time I'm going to slightly disagree with Behram here, I think Shaheen and Haris picked themselves. Very important for Pakistan. I do wish that they played maybe 3, maybe 4 T20Is and not played the whole thing, but there is an argument to be made if they needed the games. I think he's ready. I would unleash Ehsanullah. You're only going to find out how good he's going to be when you give him 5 ODIs on the trot. He's ready. He wants to play one-day cricket. Ehsan has been constantly speaking about wanting to go and win the World Cup for Pakistan in India. He feels he's ready. His confidence is sky high. He's had an incredible PSL. He's got a really good list A record, had a very good Pakistan Cup last year alongside Osama Mir. For me, it's I would give Ehsan an opportunity first. Naseem, very important. But I do feel we know what Naseem can do. We know how brilliant he is. We know how good he is. He's himself been battling a little bit of injury. I would let Ehsan loose, and I would give him complete, license to go out there, bowl as fast as he can. Just imagine that, Behram. You've got Haris Rauf at one end. You've got Ehsan at the other. So I would like to see this. And if possible, I would also like to make one more small change. There would be a time possibly where I would be okay, depending on the conditions, with us even risking leaving out Salman or Nawaz and playing Osama, simply because I think India is the kind of place where you can play 2 leg spinners. Especially also, I feel that if you take some of the bowling pressure off of Shadab and allow him to bowl a few overs, if it's not going that well for him, you have the bowling option. Shadab, the batsman, is more than capable of winning you games also. But yeah, the only change I would make is I would not start with Naseem. I would start with Ehsanullah. And of course, I'm going to be sending him messages telling him I'm pushing for him. And I think he's going to be ready. I just think you have to try to see, can he do it in these 5 games? If he can do it in these conditions, which I hope will be mimicking some of the conditions that we'll get, then I think we'll find out. Though that would be the only change from Behram's 11 for mine.
I do like your Osama point. And I think that for me, if Pakistan have won the series already, I don't mind bringing in Osama Mir, but for now, I want to consolidate Pakistan's first string team.
Fair
and,
enough. Absolutely
hopefully Iftikhar can come into it at some point later in the year. But yeah, I think that's quite a strong 11, Hassan bhai. You would expect this team to beat New Zealand quite comprehensively.
You expect a lot from these teams, but then it doesn't quite work out that way. And I think they've come up with a great idea, which is keeping Chapman, keeping him on after the incredible series that he had. So I think we should treat it as a challenge. And I think we should absolutely, in fact, a 5-0 win, if I'm not wrong, takes us up even higher in the world rankings. Very important for Pakistan.
It takes us to number 1.
You want to be going into the next round of games at the top, Behram. You want to be as close to number 1 as you can going into the World Cup, keeping that confidence going in from it. And so this is what we think, guys. Let us know. And hey, to all of you people out there, look at that. Not even once did I go with Shani. And you guys say I have an agenda. So let us know what your thoughts are. Behram and I have given you the reasons behind it. I really like the way Behram is thinking. He's focused on consolidating, because let's not forget, as things go, if I'm not wrong, Behram, this is the only time we play a 5 ODI series going into the World Cup. Very important for us to settle in on our best 11, because before you know it, it's going to be October and the World Cup is going to be starting. So it's very important that Team Pakistan focuses on the cricket. We can't control everything else that's going on around it. Where are we playing? When are we playing? How are we playing? No need to worry about that. Play the cricket. Give the crowd something to think about. Let us know what changes you would make. Let us know your 11s in the comments. And you can do it by being nice. There's no need to be rude. Nobody has to get angry. Nobody has to call anyone a lifafa. There need to be no accusations of agendas.
You can totally slam Hassan Bhai though for running an Ehsanullah agenda. I'm all for that.
No. That is a brilliant agenda, and I'm sticking by it, because my boy is ready to take on the world and he's ready to win the World Cup. And I think, yeah, let us know. Would you keep Hassan? Would you not keep him? Who would you rest? Who would you like to see in the squad? I think Behram and I have made it very clear we'd love to see Iftkhar be part of the squad. In an ideal world, I would have liked to see Hussain also, because I think he gives you not a like-for-like replacement, but gives you good backup for Nawaz, who I feel is another person to be a very important player. One guy that I feel doesn't get enough respect, Behram, this is something we'll talk about another day, but look at how important I feel Fahim Ashraf could have been in these conditions, with the ball, with the bat, you know. So much depth for Pakistan, so many things to think about. In the comments, let us know who you would have gone for. And by all means, feel free to pick apart our 11s. Just keep it nice.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you soon again. And keep supporting us at Grassroots Cricket. That's all from us today. Bye-bye.